The narrative around this has gotten completely out of control. Jokic is enjoying his offseason, so why are former pros so concerned? Let's get into all that and more today on Nuggets Digest. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Stuart Hicar, Colorado native, Denver Nuggets super fan, and also just the most trusted man in all of amateur sports entertainment. That's just a fact. I'm sorry, it's a fact. But also a fact, and this one's a little bit concerning, actually. Did you know only about 10% of our viewers are actually subscribed to the channel, which means almost 90% of you are missing out on some of the best gosh darn basketball analysis this side of the Continental Divide. So, if you like what we do here at Nuggets Digest, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and stay up to date with your favorite Mile High team. Alrighty, that is out of the way, so let's talk about the news of the day. This one is coming from some former pros who seem concerned about Nikola Jokic's what drives him, what he's doing, what does he care about basketball. It's one of these attacks you hear pretty frequently on Jokic, is that somehow he doesn't have the right demeanor, he doesn't have the right energy, he doesn't have that dog in him, whatever it may be. And I think this new quote and headline really is just another example of that trope, which is so incorrect if you talk to people who know this guy. But let's get into it, and then I'll tell you how I feel a little bit afterwards. So, first things first. This is the headline coming from Yahoo Sports. Former Denver Nuggets big man reveals shocking Nikola Jokic details. Now I know what you're thinking. Former Nuggets big man. Who are we talking about? Demarcus Cousins. Yeah, I think we'd also be surprised looking at that it's Demarcus Cousins. He played like 35 games, I think, for the Nuggets. Like this was a one-year thing. It didn't go particularly well, but he did have some time with Jokic. Apparently, their lockers were right next to each other, so he got an opportunity to hear from Jokic about some opinions right around the time Jokic was re-signing with the Nuggets for this $300 million Supermax deal. And this was what Boogie Cousins apparently said on a podcast about the experience. If you ever get a chance to just hold a conversation with him, he'll let you know off the rip he really don't give an F about this. He don't care at all. When I was with Denver, our lockers were next to each other. I don't remember who at the time had signed an extension, but I'm like, man, yours is going to be crazy. And he was like, you know, cuz, I honestly think I might retire after this contract. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't think that's entirely true. I mean, like, or at least I don't think it's as true as Demarcus Cousins is trying to make it sound. Like, Demarcus Cousins is trying to make it sound like Jokic here was like, dang, dude, I mean, honestly, and I only open up to you, Demarcus Cousins, even though we've played like 15 games together or whatever. But I think I'll open up to you and let you know, man, I'm really thinking about leaving this league. Shut up, Boogie. I'm sorry, but like, this is a joke. I think this guy, his sense of humor, his demeanor, it's very Eastern European, and I think it is so dialectically different than everything else in the NBA. It's so like not the American attitude about these things. It's all about like containing emotion. You don't break down often. You don't show emotion often because it's considered stronger or whatever to do everything internally. It's the kind of thing, look, if you're ever traveling in Eastern Europe, you might have a guide and they will tell you, hey, don't just go around smiling at strangers in the street like we do in America. You know, you see a stranger, you smile, hello, how you doing, you know? In most other countries in the world, that's considered a very weird thing to do because it's like, I don't know you. Why are you smiling at me? Smiling is something you do for friends and happiness. Why are you doing that to me, a stranger? Now, I'm not trying to get into the, sociocultural equations that somehow make this all make sense. But I think most American media outlets have always had a problem with the way Jokic plays and then the way he talks about his play. He has always been a low-key dude, and so like winning the championship and getting these MVPs, he always takes it at a very stoic level, a very casual, like, yeah, thank you, I appreciate it, thanks. He's not jumping off the walls, freaking out, so excited, thanking everybody he's ever worked with. He's just sort of like an average guy getting an award at work. Now, some people in the American media tend to think of that as like weakness. Like we can only, if you're not Kobe, if you don't have that Mamba mentality where you're always insanely competitive and always trying to destroy someone else mentally, then you're probably not a good basketball player. And I'm sorry, but like that's just not the case. I mean, this is the newest thing that everyone's talking about right now is that recently one of Jokic's horses in Serbia won this huge race, like a big championship. Like this is a big deal, top of the top. This is the biggest horse race you're going to see. And Jokic was emotional coming out to the win. He came out, he saw the jockey, he was in tears for a second. He was having fun. He like lifted up the jockey, poured champagne on him. It was like a fun time. But like, again, the headlines in the US were very much like, okay, this guy cares about horses more than he does basketball. And I'm like, emotionally, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's just a different thing. It's a different sport. Culturally, it's very different. Just because we don't care about it as much in America doesn't mean it's not hugely important to him and Serbian folks. Like, I just think it's such a cop-out and a way of, like, ripping on Jokic when you bring up these other things he cares about as if that somehow brings down his care for basketball. Look, I am of the school that says you cannot be as good as Jokic is without being obsessed with basketball. And multiple people he's played with have said similar things, that he is a junkie when it comes to basketball. He watches it all, he interprets it all, he texts people about it all the time. He's always talking to coaches about film he's seen or small teams, international league. The dude watches tons of basketball. But headlines like this from 2023 just keep coming out. Nikola Jokić busy scouting horses as Nuggets prepare for title defense. And it's like, well, shouldn't you be more worried about defense? I don't know, man. He's at practice. He's doing his thing. What's the big deal about him also being interested in horses? I don't think it's a bad thing. And honestly, one of the best things that shows you like the truth about this whole thing and that cuts through this media narrative that Jokic doesn't care enough about the sport is this guy right here, Christian Braun. Obviously, homegrown talent, KU Jayhawk, came to Denver. He's played there 3 years now, has really come a long way. He's now a starting small forward, I believe, or a shooting guard on the Nuggets. But the point is, he had a quote a little bit ago that I think is really, really helpful to like know who Jokic actually is when you're someone he trusts, has known for a while, and talks to regularly, unlike Demarcus Cousins. This is from Christian Braun on Jokic. He watches a lot of basketball. People don't realize that. He'll text me about games that are on at night. I mean, he's probably the smartest player that's ever played. And again, you don't get the kind of basketball IQ that Jokic has without loving this game and studying this game at an obsessive level. It just is impossible. No one has the natural skill. Sure, you could be born with some natural athleticism or some innate touch about the game, but to get to the level he's at, that takes practice, that takes obsession, that takes serious care. And so for people to just like assume that because Jokic says something like this when he wins the championship, the job is done, we can go home now. People just assume that it's like, oh, he doesn't care about this at all. It's a joke. Well, okay, who cares? You know, Jokic this is just a job for him. But like, I don't know. I kind of see him as an Eastern European Kawhi Leonard, where it's like talking to media, that's the part he doesn't care about. That's the part he doesn't give a crap about. He doesn't care interview questions. He doesn't try and charm people. He doesn't care if he's famous or not. Commercials aren't that big a deal. Like, that's not what he's here for. He is here to win basketball games, plain and simple. He loves to win, he loves to play the sport, and he loves to get better at the sport. I think if you look at his career, you look at his stat lines, and you ask people who have played with him, none of them will say anything different. They will all say that the dude has a great work ethic. When he's on, he is 100% on. And for anyone to, you know, make the assumption that, like, because he cares about horse racing so much, that it makes him less of a basketball player. I mean, I've got a couple of MVP trophies and a championship ring to show you. They're not at my house. They're at Jokic's next to his horses. But that is just my opinion. You know, what do you think? Do you think I should, well, first off, do you agree with my very good takes? And then if not, do you think I should have to move to Taiwan and start a podcast with Demarcus Cousins as punishment? Please don't make me do that. But either way, that's fine. Put it in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about how the media treats Jokic and his, you know, hobbies outside of basketball, which, by the way, every player has. It's not, Come on. I think you guys understand. I think the media understands. I think they're trying to make a whole hubbub out of nothing because this guy does not give them the quotes and exciting stuff that they love so much. But again, that's just my take. Let me know your take. My name is Stuart Hicar. This has been another perfect video, a 10 out of 10, actually. No mistakes whatsoever. Kind of perfect. Wow. Well, until next time, go Nugs.